of you have already met me over at the Cub enclosure, but my name is Vanessa. So here at the park, guys, if you have had the chance to wander around, you see we have a beautiful park here to offer. Now, Paradise Valley has been open since 1969, and in that time we have produced a lot of awesome things like our lion cubs, which are available for patting each day. Well, with the lions here at the park, we've had them now for around 30 years, and in that time we've bred many cubs. So what I'm going to do today, guys, is introduce to you our pride of lions, and then I'm going to start throwing over some of the meat. Just to let you in on a big secret, I am not the best thrower in the world. I used to play hockey and soccer, so you'll see I have a nice wide triangle, but don't let that make you feel good about my throwing, because I may get you to step back even further than that. So the first lions that came here to our park, guys, they were from a circus. So the circus was travelling here in Rotorua. The lions actually escaped from the circus, headed around the Rotorua lakefront. While they were wandering around, they were chased by kids on bicycles. They headed to a local hospital where they scared a man out of his wheelchair that hadn't walked in a few years. So as you can imagine, that circus was pretty swiftly closed down, and they needed homes for the retired circus animals. This park here was mainly the trout pools that you may have seen around the way, and then from there we increased to be holding the lions. So starting with our hidden away in the cave girl. So down there, you guys might not be able to see her, but she may come out for some food, popping her head out there. This is Jenny. Jenny is our oldest female here. She is 22 years old. A normal lifespan for an adult lion could be 10 to 15 in the wild. So as you can tell, she is outliving that natural lifespan. Wow. Jenny, though, she's still getting amongst it. She's got a best friend who is our next lioness, and that's Rio. Rio is our dominant female, so she looks after Jenny in her old age, which is pretty nice. They're often found close together. So as you can see, she has aged a bit, but we are watching her very carefully. Rio there, she's 16, as I said, and she has mothered many of the cubs we've had through the park. Because of her age, though, she has been spayed now. Over that normal lifespan, we won't be breeding from her again. Next in line is the big boy himself. Now this here is Max, and Max is 12 years old. Max, being the only male, has it pretty easy at the moment. We do have an upcoming male that I'll introduce to you shortly. But Max here, he is the dad of our current cubs that you may have met over in the Cub enclosure today. Very handsome with his mane, check that out, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on today. Now down here, coming out of the cave now, this is Luca. Luca is 7 years old and a very special lioness to me, as she was the first one I ever got to work with as a cub. She's mum of our two babies in the cub pen today, and so now I'm looking after her little ones, which is lots of fun. Luca and Max, they get on very well, as you can imagine, mum and dad of the littlies. But Luca has some wee friends she doesn't get along with too well, which I'll tell you about shortly. Heading down to check out our night den is Hannah. Hannah is 5 years old, and she is mum of who is hiding inside, our 12-month-old cub Benji and Bella. So the reason they're away is because of wee Luca. Having her baby, she's a very protective mum, and we haven't quite introduced those two to her just yet. But Mum Hannah's sticking around there making sure those guys aren't given a hard time while she's at feeding. So what I'll do is start throwing over that meat. As I mentioned, my throwing not too good, guys, so I'll get you to take a step back. I have many times just trying back to the ground. Ria. Come on, Hannah. She doesn't look very enthusiastic, does she, guys? No, you're going to go to your face. Alright, so now a little secret about our mums. They are actually fed a little So that's why Hannah can stand there and not really care about my flying meat. Alright guys, now just a little bit about what is on the menu today as we stand in the pouring rain. This is horse meat. So horse meat is the main diet we feed out to all our lions, including our wee calves. We aim to give each lion around 2 to 3 kilos a day. We also can feed out things like rabbit, hare, beef, venison. They don't really like the other meats as much as they like the horse. With the horse we can feed out all parts of it, so the offal, fur, bone, and of course that tasty meat there. Big dribble. So out in the wild guys, lions, they could go 7 to 10 days without a meal. So that's why we do feed smaller amounts but more frequently. So we have lion feeding here every day for these guys. As you can see, the amount we give them is enough to keep them in the good condition they are today. Nice and healthy weight ranges. We'll throw a bit more, see if we can get it over before this rain drowns everybody. Next today. Next. Look at. Yeah. You leave Kenny alone.
Oops!
On the road. I really wish Jenny would come closer, but she likes to stand on my worst angle. We'll try one more time, get ready for a duck row. Oh dear. Forget that later now. Awesome guys, so I'll just draw your attention down to where I see our other two cubs are hiding. Now that is our night den. We are required to bring our lions in every night for safety reasons. Inside there are 4 different compartments where we can separate our lions off if need be. So if any are needing treatment for illness or injury, we can simply keep them away from the rest. Also with our mums and babies, they have their own room. And in there guys, there's nice heated flooring to keep them warm at night. But that doesn't stop our lions to be racing out here on a frosty morning, running through all the light of their enclosure. And there you'll notice an electric fence, so here we're required to have it. But here at the park we have one of the best enclosures in New Zealand and you can get very close to them. So it's quite exciting that we can have that there. I'm running out of my bridge. Other reasons we pull our lions away guys is of course so we can head on here to clean anything up. We go in with our cubs up until around the age of 14 months. But if I went in with any of these guys, that would be my last days here and I'll just underbite everybody. So we'll keep trying over, see if we can get any more interest. Max is still looking at what that noise was before. I'm not too sure, eh buddy? Competition. You're going to catch one, buddy. Catch. No, I'm too lazy to catch today. Look up. Whoop, that didn't quite got a look at it. Hannah can have that one. Look up. No one's running for anything in my dad throwing today. Yeah, we make it real easy for us. Right in the paddock. Alright guys, now just a little bit about our lions that you see here. So these guys are actually a mixed breed. They're African lion with Barbary lion in. Now Barbary lion no longer exists out in the wild unfortunately. It was killed to extinction. The trait of the Barbary lion though, if you check out Max's name that I mentioned earlier, that running the full length of his abdomen is the trait of the Barbary lion. So we're very lucky to still be able to see that even though these guys have only little left of that gene. Inside the mouths here of our lions, they have 30 teeth. The ones to be wary of even on our cubs are the back teeth. These are the crushing and chopping teeth. So a little bit like a pair of scissors. With these guys, the adult canines on our cubs, they start coming through from anywhere over 10 months. But when they're little, as you'll meet them in the cub den if you haven't already, they're not too much to worry about. With these guys, the females are the ones that would normally do the hunting in the wild. The male is just around to protect protect his pride. So Max here without any other lions around, as you saw him giving grief to the noisy herd out the gate, he tells off a few cars in his time, roars out to the loud ones flying past to let them know this is his territory. Because the females do the hunting, they are a lot stronger in the hindquarters and they'll often jump up onto that platform you see there. Now Maxie is a very cheeky male and he has found his own way of getting up there just so he can torment the girls a little bit more. He hangs on with his front claws and kicks his back legs until he can hoist himself up. They're very effortless. The females will pop onto the top platform. Another thing Max is very cheeky at, he knows all the females' names, so sometimes if he's really keen on food, when we call their name, he runs and pushes that lioness out of the way to get their meat. So we'll throw a bit more guys and then we'll finish up just because of the rain. They don't want to be out here as you see them all in the cave, and I'm sure you're not too keen either. Rio. No, Max. Rio. You're not going to go anywhere. Lost me on here. So you can see how hungry they are. Not at all like it. It's not even moving. Look up. Hannah. Go Hannah, go. Alright guys. So just lastly, a little bit more about those cubs. If you haven't met them already today, they'll be open again at 3 o'clock for padding. So their names are Isla and Alika. What normally happens here at the park with cubs, when we have a pregnant female, can be quite tricky to tell because babies only weigh about 1 to 2 kilo when first born. These females can reach around 180 kilos, so you can imagine the two little babies in their belly. It is very difficult to see. What you're looking for is increase in appetite, so a bit more action at lion feeding than today, unfortunately, and often hanging around the male. When cubs are born, as I mentioned, weighing 1 to 2 kilos, their eyes are open, but they don't really get to see until they're about 7 days old. From there we leave them with mum for 6 weeks, and then we start bringing them out to visit you guys, and so it's a very short amount of time for the lilies. There's a bit of playtime going on. A bit of fun. So ever since we've popped our 12-month-olds into the pride, all our other lions got a bit of a lease on life and are appearing around here a bit more often. So with the cub padding from 6 weeks, it can go up to 12 months. It changes a little in that time, but it's very cool to be able to see the cubs at all stages, so we often have people coming back to visit them throughout their little lives out there. But we will leave it there for today, guys. I'm sure you want to get dry, and I do let you know that the cub den is under shelter, so if that's where you're heading next, we will be a little bit drier. Also this afternoon we'll be getting a possum out at 3 o'clock in the care enclosure, so if anyone would like to go and meet our friendly Chico, just head around there and Angus will be there again on 3 o'clock. But thanks for braving the rain and joining me today, as well as thanking our lions here for making it out of the wet. If you've got any questions for me, guys, I'll hang down here for a few minutes. Come along and ask. Thanks again.